Welcome to Teaching Tuesday. This is brought to you special request by one of our listeners about confidence. So we're going to talk today about confidence, what it is, what it means, how do we train for it, and all the good stuff, and why do we concentrate on it so much. So I am Heather Furby with Casa Luna Canines. This is Teaching Tuesday, part of our free webinar series. Hopefully you are getting information you need out of this. If not, call, text, email, and let us know what you do want to hear about. So confidence, it's really important to remember in all these concepts that we're talking about that we don't train and reward that specific concept. We train behaviors that help our dogs build these building blocks in their brain. That's called canine cognition. It's your dog's brain, just like you've got a brain. We develop our kids' brains. We develop our brains all the time. We develop our dogs' brains all the time. So in canine cognition, we've got these building blocks. The ones we concentrate on at the beginning is always calm and confident. Why? Because a calm dog is one of those that's just kind of seems to be moving around, not really caring. They're sleeping. They're by your side. Confident dog, same kind of thing. How do we notice confidence? Got a little swagger in their step. They're just loose body. They know what needs to be done. They're not this high anxiety, not spinning, barking. So a calm, confident dog, we usually associate with well-trained dog. There's a lot of nuances that go with it, but I always want to say that we're going to talk about the behaviors that help us see whether or not our dog has these concepts. If you don't know all the concepts, there is a blog post on our piece called Canine Cognition Concepts. Go ahead and check that out. We list all of the different concepts that we talk about during these webinars. So one of you asked, and I love when people write in and ask for this, is about confidence and confidence in new environments and around other dogs. So we're going to kind of talk about confidence in general and then break it down specifically into those. Try not to get too geeky because I save our geeks moments for the online community that we're launching, Pause and Success. Pause. And so we'll really go in and geek out there with a lot more of the brain science, but this is the general piece. So confidence, what is it? It's actually not bravado. We always think of kind of confidence like, hey, I can do anything, I'm good. It's not that. It's not that in your dog either. We're not looking for dogs that just go explore and see anything and do anything. Confidence is really, how do we say this? It's I know what needs to be done and I have the skills to do it. You can hear my phone ringing in the back. That's okay. So it's I know what needs to be done and I have the skills to do it. So what we've got to do is teach our dog the skills to do what needs to be done depending where they are. Now the catch is we can't teach our dog skills for every single situation, because that would be exhausting. Dogs are very contextual learners as opposed to generalized learners. So they learn something in a specific place, in a specific context. That means location, setup, people, surfaces. So when we teach our dog, for instance, sit, we teach them to sit maybe on the carpet in the living room. And then we move to the kitchen and we say sit, and they were doing it perfectly in the living room. Then we move to the kitchen and they suddenly don't know the cue. And they look at us. We're like, you know this. And so what do we usually do? We say, we know they know sit. We think they know sit. So they sit, and then we go to a new location or a new surface and we say sit, and they don't. So what do? We say it more. Sit, sit, sit. Or we say it louder. Hey, sit. Or we get frustrated, or we get some force in there. And we try to push them in there because we think they know sit. They did it perfectly. What we forget is that our dogs are contextual learners. So I know sit is a really basic example, but I want you to think about this in behavior. My dog behaves perfectly at home, but the moment we go outside, it's crazy. You know, they're just jumping, they're spinning, they're doing all this crazy, crazy stuff. So we don't want to keep practicing that kind of behavior. So there's a lot of things that go into that. But when we look at maybe your dog is crazy at home, but then you go to a new place and they're nice and calm and confident. You go, how come there are these different settings? And that's because of context. So what we try to do is teach our dogs skills and then move those skills from one place to another. So you're going to hear Luna in the background. She's very unhappy that she's behind the door and listening to me talk, but that's okay. She'll go to her place in just a little bit. She's been a little bit anxious, so I didn't want to have her in here today. So today we're talking about confidence. So let's break down confidence. Confidence is first, we've got to look at, it's kind of context. I'm going to talk about this. We're going to go on a little journey of coffee because it's the best way I know how to describe it. If you set me up in my kitchen context to make coffee, I know where everything is located. So that's the first step. I'm going to go to make coffee. The coffee cups are in the same cabinet. The spoon, same cabinet. The milk is where it's supposed to be. So if I go, there's a set of expectations that's happening. If I go to my coffee mug drawer and I don't see the coffee mugs, my brain starts going, uh-oh, something's off. Like, where'd all the coffee mugs go? I have a couple places they might be, but I kind of look around. If the coffee mugs weren't there, and then I went to get the spoons, and the spoons weren't there, and I was out of coffee, and maybe we didn't have any water, or I couldn't heat it up, or the coffee machine was broken, or, when there's a bunch of different things that my expectations are not met, now I'm frustrated, right? So I go in thinking I'm going to make coffee. One thing doesn't throw me off, but when I start having all the kinds of things not go wrong, then I'm frustrated. So think of that in terms of your dog, that we set them up for success. So we want to first teach them these kinds of skills in what? A level 1 environment. So if you've heard levels of distraction, level 1 is familiar, no distractions. So maybe my kitchen, the training room, the bedroom, something that they're familiar with and there's no other distractions around. And by no other distractions, no dogs, maybe no other people. There's not a lot of TV blaring. It's just nice and quiet. And the only conversation my dog's having is with me, because this sets them up to gain confidence. We want, the more we do skills and train and they have success, the more confidence they get, because confidence is, I know what needs to be done and I have the skills to do it, right? So it's not that bravado. It's, hey, I know what needs to be done. I have the skills to do it. Back to coffee. I know what needs to be done. I have the skills to do it. So I'm confident I can make coffee in my kitchen. Now, so that's kind of the context. Now there's a process that happens, and I need to know what the requirements are so that I can learn to generalize. So the requirements for making coffee, right? I need coffee grounds. So if I don't have coffee grounds and I have whole beans, I got to do something about that. I need water. I need a receptacle to hold the coffee in, usually a mug. I need, water, hot water. So we know that the general process is you've got coffee grounds in something. We pour hot water over it into a cup, and I can add milk if I want that, whatever else, all the cool stuff. And I got my cup of coffee. Okay, I can do that. Now, take me to a new kitchen, same setup. I still can make coffee. Maybe change the machine. I can usually figure out how to make coffee. If, because I know the process is there's grounds, there's water, so this should work. If you start now putting me in a context where, the machine is so different and I have no clue how to work it, it doesn't totally throw me for a loop because I know how to ask questions. I know that, okay, this is supposed to be a coffee machine, but I don't know how to work it, so I can ask for help. Same with your dog. So your dog is, knows what needs to be done. We go to a new situation and maybe they don't know what needs to be done, but they look to you. They're basically sending you cues to go like, what are we doing? Are we playing this game that we've played inside? What are the rules? They look to you for guidance because they have confidence that you're going to help them. They might not know how to act in that situation. And it's not this logical thing. I'm kind of drawing this out so that we understand the concept of confidence. But it is, I have the skills, I know what needs to be done. If we get a new situation, we go, oh, I don't know what needs to be done. They're looking to you, and it's up to you to help them figure out which skills to use. That's why we use those levels of distraction, because I want to slowly change context from one thing, keep the game the same. Level 1, no distraction. Then I start adding distractions. Then I add maybe a few more distractions. Then we go to a new place and play the same game, same routine, new location. So then they start generalizing. That helps build confidence because I have the skills, what needs to be done. I know that I can use those skills in these situations. So I have the skills. I know what needs to be done. I have the skills to get that thing done. I'm confident I can do that. So now let's talk. So that's kind of confidence in general. We want to talk about how we train for that. Why do we train for it so much? Is, as we said, confidence is usually a trained dog. What do we look for? It really is swagger in your dog. You're looking for that nice, loose tail. They're not intense. It's not really overthinking. It's not spinning or high arousal. It's just sort of, yep, I got this. I know where I'm going. I'm heading on in, and I got this covered. Luna is hilarious to watch this. We had a pub we went down to in Sonoma County, California, and she would walk right in. She knew exactly where to go, and she had this boss look. She's like, get out of my way, I'm going to my table, and she was just confident she could get there. If we threw her off and went a different direction, suddenly she'd be like, hey, where are we going? But then she could get back, and it's the cutest boss look, swagger. So notice in your dog what confidence looks like. It's going to look different for each dog, but you're looking for nice, loose body language, kind of glazed eyes. They're not intense. It's just sort of a, whatever, I got this. Look for it in yourself, too. When do you feel confident? Because if you've done Buddy Basics, S, and synchronizing, dogs will synchronize to us. So if I'm not confident, my dog's going to look to me and be like, well, she doesn't got this, so maybe we don't got this. So look for signs of confidence in yourself. What is it that you're confident in doing? And we all have varying levels of confidence in different locations, different skills. And that is the same with dogs. They can be confident in one environment and not so confident in another. All by way of saying, we train for these skills and I'm not looking for confidence and rewarding confidence. The same thing can happen for calm. We'll talk about that some other time, but I'm not rewarding confidence. I'm rewarding skills. I'm rewarding behavior. I'm rewarding an outcome that my dog worked hard, that we created. I reward that, and I get more of that. Then my dog goes, I know what needs to be done, because I know it either gets me the reward or I know that gets me moving to a new direction. So I'm confident. So I hope that makes sense. So now let's look in two different contexts of confidence that our listener brought up, which is new environments and meeting other dogs. So new environments, this one's really hard. People get mad at me all the time, but I'm just going to say what I think, is that we humans rush our dogs way too much. We bring them to new places too fast, too much, too soon. That actually erodes confidence, because what your dog is saying usually is they bark, they're pulling on leash, they're lunging. That is them telling you, I do not have the skills. I don't have the skills for the situation. And what do? We go, oh, you're fine. Just, sink or swim. You're good. You're a dog. You know how to do this. And the dog's saying, I don't know how to do this. And we go, you're fine. And I saw this the other night. I was out. There was a couple at a pub. They had I thought it was an older dog. Maybe it was a puppy, but it was a well-behaved dog. And there was another guy who had a new puppy. It wasn't new, but it was the first time out. So the new guy comes over to this couple and says, can my dog be introduced to your dog? It's the first time out. I want to see how we do. That's so wonderful. Off to a great start to build confidence. So he comes over. The couple's like, yeah, sure. Our dog gets along with everyone. Perfect. Now it's a new environment and there's no dog fight. So relax for those of you that expect dog fights. Deep breath. Let's bring the energy down. So this new puppy comes up. Older dog is there. New puppy goes, I'm a puppy. Hey, pounce and everything. Older dog goes, not interested, and walks away. Perfect. So that's confidence introducing to new dogs. Dogs know how to be dogs. The dogs had this down. Now we enter humans. What erodes the confidence? Puppy guy yanking his puppy back the whole time. No, down, sit. Confusing the puppy, yanking him back. That puppy's confused. The dog that walked away is totally happy, just walking away going, oh, thanks thanks, not that. I'm going to eat this fry on the floor. Goes over, starts licking the floor. Owner of that dog kind of steers him back and is like, hey, go meet this other dog. Come on, let's, and starts kind of luring him over and trying to be like, come meet this other dog. That is what creates the tension in dogs. That's the opposite of confidence. Both dogs were fully confident doing what they do. One's younger, didn't have the skills, and was saying quite clearly, I don't have the skills to meet another dog in this environment. So just walk away. Other dog said, yep, I see you, don't care, walked away. And instead of allowing that dog to walk away, they bring him back in. So now dog's like, wait a minute, I was doing my dog thing, I'm awesome, and now apparently my dog thing is wrong. So I gotta go back and meet this other dog. So that's where humans, why I'd say this is that's where humans get in the way quite a bit. And we erode our dog's confidence. And then we wonder, why do I have a dog that reacts to everything? Well, because we didn't take the time to understand dog and dog language and all the signals that your dog's telling you. Because remember, your dog is learning all the time. We just don't always know what they're learning. So it's up to us to help control that environment, to say we do know what they're learning and help them learn the skills that we want them to have, and then help them slowly generalize those. That builds confidence. So it's not just this exposure to other dogs. Dogs will react to overexposure. And you'll hear me say this all the time. It's too much too soon. It's socialization. Proper socialization is a lifetime of building this relationship with your dog, understanding what your dog likes and doesn't like, just as you know what you like and don't like. So if you had a partner that dragged you into all kinds of situations you didn't like, you want to be at home and be an introvert, and your partner's saying, you have to go out, you have to go out, you have to go out all the time. Eventually that relationship erodes because you're like, we don't like the same things. You're forcing me into this. And I have no confidence in how to act out in those situations. So now, not only do I start eroding my own confidence, I don't have confidence in the relationship, and I don't have confidence in you. Same thing with our dogs. And I know this is new to a lot of you, might be old to a lot of you, which is yay. If you've heard this and you're like, fast forward, perfect. But it's not about exposing our dogs to many things and then hoping it's a positive experience and just, being a Pez dispenser and shoving food in our dog's face and hope that they don't notice everything that's going around for them. That's more like, I'm nervous, it's terrible, and there's food being shoved in my face, so now I don't like food. I don't know how to, do this whole thing. That's the opposite of confidence. So if confidence is I know what needs to be done, and I've got the skills to do that, then we've got to start saying, well, what are those skills that the dog would need? And then start training those skills. So, I don't know, let's take something super easy like coffee, is going for a walk. I want my dog to be confident that we're going for a walk and that she's got the behavior to deal with that walk. So it starts with, we get the harness off, and I can put the harness on, and I want her to be nice and calm, have that little bit of swagger, because she's like, yep, I know we're going for a walk. I can clip that harness, I can clip the leash, I can get my shoes on, and she's just hanging out going, yep, we're going for a walk. I can open the door, she's still calm, I can come out the door, and I can start that walk. That would be a confidence in I have the skills to do the walk. Now, what happens with majority of clients that I work with is it starts right at the beginning. We get that leash out and whoop, we're already over. We've already flipped our lid. We're spinning, we're barking, we're so excited. So right there, your dog has told you, I do not have the confidence to go for a walk because I don't have the skills. I either don't know what they are or I can't practice them. And that's often because we've been rewarding for the wrong things, or we're using food as bribes, or we end up rewarding tension rather than calm, or we're rewarding at different parts, so our timing's off, right? So that we've ended up teaching our dog that that is the expected behavior, that leash comes out, I'm excited, so I spin. The spinning makes me more excited, so I spin more frantic. Now I'm biting, now I'm jumping. I open the door, poof, they run away. And so we go, well, that's your dog's telling you I don't have the skills to go for a walk. So there's no confidence there. So we got to come back and be like, well, let's build confidence. Let's learn to put on the harness to be calm. Let's learn to put on the leash to be calm. Let's learn to get out the door and be calm. Now, I know that sounds like calm, not confidence, but as we reward and we build calm and that they can regulate their behavior, they can think in arousal, they can tolerate frustration, they can and have that dimmer switch we've talked about, arousal up, arousal down. There's other concepts I'm forgetting right now, but if they have all those others, then they go, I'm confident because I got this whole bag of tricks I can pull from in order to problem solve and be in this situation. So I hope that makes sense. So confidence, skills, that I know what needs to be done, and I have those skills to do the thing that needs to be done. And that requires context, understanding kind of all the ingredients that go into that, and then being able to generalize those skills in a lot of places. So I can say I'm confident I can make coffee. And if I can't make coffee, then I can ask questions. I am not confident I could work at one of the coffee places when you got a line and people are demanding attention from me and I need to make coffee fast and in 1,000 different ways. Suddenly I'm not confident. That's the level 5 dog park that we take our dogs to. I don't have the skills to do that, nor do I have the desire. The value would never be good enough, so I don't want to put myself in that situation. So think about that with your dog. You know, we're putting them in situations, maybe they do know what needs to be done generally, but they're just like, I don't like the situation. I want to get out of here. Dogs that pull home, you know, when you turn around, they're like, oh, thank God I got to get home. They're telling you, I don't like this environment. I'd rather be at home. So lots of different things we can think about, but that's confidence, is got the skills and I can start moving it around. And then specifically when introducing confidence in new dogs, dogs know how to be dogs. It's the humans that usually interrupt this dog process. So we've got to, it's our responsibility, 100% our responsibility to teach dogs how to navigate the human world. We're not teaching them to be dogs. We're teaching them to navigate our weird human world where the rules change so often and based on context and stuff that dogs are not born understanding. So we teach them bit by bit, consistently, let them make their associations, and we've got these dogs that are more confident. And then in new environments, it's the same thing. We're hoping to be contextual, where we change one thing at a time in these environments, and then move, help them build their skills from one place to another. So eventually, when your dog is mature, and for some of you, that might not be till your dog's 3 years old, for some of the slower developing or the big dogs, sometimes little dogs, depending on all the experiences they've had since the day they were born, maybe when they're 3 or 4, we can take them to a brand new environment they've never seen, like, the beach, if you're not from the coast. And your dog goes, oh, this is super exciting. All new sights, sounds, smells. The entire thing is novel. And they don't freak out because they're like, I've been in enough situations that I can figure this out. Humans here, I'm just going to stick by their side and ignore the world, because that 99.9% of the world, not for them. We've worked with them. As opposed to, I start driving to the coast and they start barking and barking and barking and barking and barking. By the time I get there, it's just crazy. And then I got to let them out and, all chaos ensues. That's not confidence. And then the other part is having confidence in ourselves. What are my handling abilities? If I've got a big dog and I don't trust their skills yet, then I don't trust my skills. And we've got a confidence chaos. I don't know what to call it. It's a breakdown in my confidence. It's a breakdown in the dog's confidence. And then that's why you turn to help and say, okay, well, what am I doing on this? Is there anything else I can do? What games can I play? How do I approach this so that we're actually rewarding the skills that do lead to confidence, as opposed to rewarding the opposite and kind of pushing our dog and being like, whatever, get out there, meet the dog, sink or swim. And dog goes, that's not fun. So that's the basics of confidence. We want to have the skills. I know what needs to be done. I got the skills to do it. I'm going to go do it. I don't need anything. If I need anything, I'm going to ask you for help. Got this. Let's move on. That is confidence in a nutshell. So if you want to learn more about this, you heard me mention Buddy Basics. We just released that online digital course. So you can go ahead and find one of the clicky links, or on the side, I think if we're here in our online community, you can get Buddy Basics, which is the 6 things you need to master to have the buddy of your dreams. They are, if you just did those 6 things, I swear you will have results. We're going to be launching our online community, so watch out for that if we have not done that already by the time you're watching this. So until next time, stay calm, stay confident, and stay connected. I'm Heather Furby with Casa Luna Canines. Take care.